Chair of Council, the complaint, we can speak to the complaint in general, correct?
Correct.
Because that is a matter of public record, not necessarily the settlement terms. Correct. So let me see if I can give some generic overview of the history. This involves an agreement dating back to 1988 between the City of Taylor and Wayne County. Wayne County agreed to trade roads essentially. Wick Road was a county road, Northland Road was a city road. We agreed to trade roads in 1988, and the county agreed to widen and resurface Northland Road at the county's expense. In exchange of that, the City of Taylor agreed to forego the county's capture of the TIFA tax of I believe 6 point, I don't have the specifics, just a little higher than 6 mils. That was designed to fund the economic development within Northland Road and the resurfacing project. There is no end date to the agreement, so it goes into perpetuity. It involves the TIFA board as well. They are actually the group that filed the complaint. They're the lead group that filed the complaint against Wayne County. And we're hoping to bring some closure to it with the settlement agreement.
Manager.
I know that was generic, but I'm trying to.
I want to just say that what this agreement was, we had with the county, the cost of the project was about $7.5 million after we allowed them to continue to collect our TIFA dollars. I believe it's somewhere in the ballpark of about $40 million that they have collected over the course of decades for a $7.5 million project. $40 million, so that's, what is that, like $32 million over what they should have collected from the city for a project that's been completed years ago. So I just want folks to understand that this agreement has been in place for many years by city government from the past. Unfortunately, in my opinion, it was a very irresponsible agreement to enter into on behalf of the taxpayers of the city. Now we have an agreement coming forward in a settlement agreement, which in my opinion does not do much to settle that, and it really doesn't do anything for the taxpayers. So I just wanted to make that known and why I'm going to be opposing this settlement today, because I think it continues to allow the county to take advantage of our city and also the taxpayers of the city.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Mayor?
A couple things in response to the statements made. I don't disagree with most of it. The difference is that the struggle of it is that the City of Taylor agreed to it. And as in every settlement, we are trying to limit exposure, limit any type of additional damages. And so we attempted to do our best within negotiations, and we've been negotiating in and out of court and facilitation for 2 years. We're essentially, there's a hearing date on February 16th, and we felt that while it is not a perfect settlement, it involves a significant amount of money that we could end up with nothing if we're not successful. So it's tough to disagree with. This is a very difficult situation. Several administrations have tried. Several administrations have came up with nothing. This is the most progress that has been made since the agreement was signed.
Manager.
Councilman Garza?
Yeah, I appreciate the mayor as well as the council and our corporation council for attempting to really fight on behalf of the residents of the city for an agreement that is just unjust. In my opinion, it's really something that has been tried, like the mayor mentioned, for years by other administrations, and we really haven't gotten anywhere. But under this agreement, I just cannot approve something that continues to allow the county to take taxpayer dollars when it's basically balancing the county's budget on the top of City of Taylor taxpayers, and that's something that I cannot support in any fashion, and that's why I'll be voting no today.
Madam Chair, I'm going to be a little more frank. I agree Garza. This situation absolutely makes me sick, and I think it's wrong that the county does this to us, and there's no way I can support this. Absolutely not.
Madam Chair,
Councilman Missouri.
you know, it's clear that the county is taking advantage of the city to the extent that the city entered into the agreement and it's been deemed to be a legally binding agreement. Poor agreement, poor choice. As of right now, we're stuck with it. My concern is that, you know, do you get something for continuing to supplement the county for 13 more years?
Potential.
And we've got nothing up till now. My bigger fear is that Councilman Woolley asked about continuing to litigate. I don't know if it'll continue to be litigated. You got to remember that TIFA is funding all of the legal defense right now, and we heard from TIFA that they're tired of doing that. And it's entirely possible that this board votes no today, that we are completely dissatisfied with what the county has done to us since '88, what they'll continue to do until at least 2030, and get nothing in return because the lawsuit would be dropped. Now, we could continue that lawsuit. We could continue it with city general fund. I don't know what we can support in terms of unbudgeted money toward a lawsuit if that court case on the 16th doesn't go our way. Now, we could win. We could win on the 16th. That doesn't appear likely based on what comments I've heard. And so while I hate the agreement, while I think it's poor, while I think we're in great legal standing and would love to continue to fight, there's something to be said for saying if it's as bad as it is and it's legally binding, should we get something for, you know, what's going to amount to 30 plus years of pain and suffering in terms of, you know, financially aiding the county when we have our own financial issues here in the city of Taylor.
Madam Chair,
Councilman Johnson.
I agree with everybody with what they're saying. This agreement sucked back then, it sucks today, to put it plainly. I'm not willing. I had two attorneys tell me last night with combined experience of over 50, well, would cost maybe 75 years. Telling me that it don't look good if we go further. So I will be supporting this motion.
Madam Chair.
Councilman Garza.
You know, and I appreciate their comments. Like I said, I really, you know, struggle with this, but it's something that, you know, was a mistake 20, 30 years ago, and it would be a mistake to approve. You know, $40 million has been paid out to the county for a $7.5 million project, and if we continue on down this path, another $30 million will be given to the county for a $7.5 million project. That will be a total of $70 million for a $7.5 million project that the taxpayers of the city are going to pay to the county for a project that's been completed. And I cannot vote on something like that and sleep at night in order to, you know, tell the taxpayers that I'm able to, you know, approve something like this on their behalf.
Madam Chair,
Councilman Woolley.
I'd just like to say that it didn't look good for Tom Brady on the Super Bowl Sunday. So I'm going to ask that Gus puts his number 12 jersey on and lead us down the field. So.
Madam Chair.
I don't know.
None of us can predict the judge's decision. Obviously, if that's the route that we end up going down, I'm 100% positive the attorneys will put their best foot forward and attempt to bring a victory home for the city of Taylor and the TIFA board. However, if we're not successful, we have to understand the reality that the process of the Court of Appeals is not very, there's not a very high percentage of success there. And it could be time consuming and costly. So again, what I'm asking everyone to consider is the outcome of we could end up with nothing, which is a far worse deal to explain to taxpayers. And again, this deal, it goes back to 1988. It's a complicated situation. There's really not a lot of benefit for the city of Taylor that in exchange for what we've paid over time and continue to pay into time. But again, it's trying to mitigate our damages and come away with something.
Madam Chair, and maybe we need to go into a closed session to discuss a legal strategy, but But I don't know if I'm hearing a commitment that this legal battle will continue. We don't know if Tifa will support it, and if they don't, it would have to be us. We do know that it's lengthy, we do know that it's costly, we do know that the city general fund is not flush with cash, so maybe we should go into a closed session to discuss that strategy, because if we choose not to pursue this, despite everything that Councilman Garza said, we're going to do all that. If we lose this case on the 16th, we've paid the 40, we'll pay the 30, and we'll get nothing in return. So if need be to go into a closed session, I'd like to understand our legal strategy going forward should Tifa choose to end their legal battle and put that onus on the city of Taylor.
I don't know that we're ready to make that kind of commitment.
It seems like an important part of our decision tonight.
Madam Chair, I'm happy to go in closed door. I mean, again, if there's questions, if there's concerns, if there's discussion needed, we spent a lengthy amount of time last night. I'm more than happy to commit to however much time we need to have the discussion. It is an important item for the city of Taylor, and moving forward, this does have a significant impact on both us and the Tifa board.
Madam Chair,
Councilman Garza?
I guess I'm not sure what we're going to get out of the closed session besides, we approve this agreement, we continue to sign off and allow the county to collect $30 million more of Taylor taxpayer dollars. And we continue to do that, and then we can talk about how we're going to fund the attorney and how we're going to do that. But I don't understand how someone's decision would change based upon that. $30 million is being taken from the city. And that's my position. Like I said, I don't speak for anybody on this council. But if we do approve this agreement, we're continuing to sign on to an agreement that says, county, here's our open TIF account, you can take from it as much as you want. And that's just something that I'm not willing to do.
I just think we need to clarify, though, that voting no in and of itself doesn't change that. That's all I'm saying.
And I
It
understand
doesn't
that.
change anything if we lose on the 16th. So we can't portray this argument as voting yes allows them to take it and voting no prevents them. That's not the case at all. The outcome of the case on the 16th is going to dictate whether we pay or don't pay. And if we lose that case, we'll do everything you're trying to avoid and lose out on $8.5 million.
Approximately.
Madam Chair,